This week on Dean Partridge's Canadian Whitetail.
Got a blind set up on a big heavy 4x4 that we call Hefty.
How's that, buddy? That was hefty. Oh, he come in a landslide.
Hunting is full of ups and downs and highs and lows. And as much as we may hate to admit it, it's what makes hunting so much fun. And without challenge, you can't have accomplishment. And to say that the last couple of whitetail seasons have been a bit of a challenge for Ryan would be an understatement. A very accomplished hunter, Ryan has enjoyed great success in the whitetail woods, always with firearms. The last couple of years, though, Ryan has set a goal of a new sort, to start bow hunting whitetails, and all the while holding the same big mature deer standards that he had held while gun hunting. And Ryan quickly learned that archery was a whole new game. Well, we rewind to 2013.
Just going in for the evening here and gonna sit for old Max tonight and see if he comes in. He's been here in the last couple of days, just at sunset, so hopefully he comes in tonight and we get a shot at him.
Max wasn't just any buck, but a huge long beam 5x5 that Ryan had been watching for a couple of years. Big tines and good mass, the deer that Ryan called Max was a deer that any bow hunter dreams of. Heading in to hunt Max with his bow, Ryan had also taken on the new challenge of trying to take the deer on camera, which Ryan was about to learn adds a whole new dimension to the hunt. Early in the evening, a great young up-and-comer Ryan calls Mini Max makes an appearance, a shooter-class deer in many books, but Ryan holds steady as it's not his target deer. As evening fades, while packing up camera gear, they look up and there's Max, at under 30 yards, and broadside. One look at cameraman Richie told Ryan what he had feared. There was not enough camera light. Richie told Ryan that he could go ahead and shoot, but the video would not be good enough to use. Ryan made the difficult decision not to shoot and to let the buck walk. And unfortunately for Ryan, Max was not spotted for the rest of the season, as he was taken by another hunter.
I'm gonna take a break from Max and hunt a double drop tine deer that I found.
With Max dead, Ryan shifts his focus to a colossal buck with huge double drop tines here in 2012, and again in 2013 sporting a massive framed 4x4 with his same double drops, the caliber of deer that haunts any whitetail hunter.
Last week, so we're gonna see if we can make a play on him here tonight. So it's about 4 o'clock right now, so we got lots of time. We got about a 5-minute walk in here, so we're gonna go get settled in and hopefully something happens tonight.
The first encounter of the night is with this big mature 8-pointer that Ryan calls Pac-Man. Again, a deer that anyone would be proud to hang their tag on, just not the giant double drop tine target buck. The buck startles, and Ryan and cameraman Richie soon see why. About 1,000 pounds of rutting bull moose. Relieved that the bull moose heads the other way and not through the blind, the evening fades again with no sightings of the big double drop tine buck. And it was now late season, and Ryan had shifted his focus to taking his young daughter Paige hunting. And after Paige having taken a tremendous buck, Ryan was headed back to his hunt with only days left. But again, he had learnt that the target buck had been taken by another lucky hunter. After last year's challenge, this year Ryan was definitely due for some reward, and he was headed in to get set up on one of the mature bucks that had survived. A busy summer of work had pushed Ryan's setup back to September, but nonetheless, it's always better to be late than never.
Well, I just rushed home from work here and got a blind set up on a big heavy 4x4 that we call Hefty.
Heavy beams in a big frame. It's no wonder that Ryan is focused on the buck that he calls Hefty.
Had the camera on a channel going through here for the last couple of weeks, and been getting some daylight pictures of them, so figured I'd pop the blind up and start hunting them here. They're traveling through this channel and they're going out to a barley field and also an alfalfa field, so it looks good, and hopefully in the next couple nights the wind is good and we're able to hunt and maybe get an encounter.
Heading out after the buck that Ryan calls Hefty, you have to wonder if he feels jinxed, that every deer he sets his sights on is taken shortly after by others. But the true measure of a bow hunter is always persistence, which it appears Ryan has plenty of, and an understanding of the only way to make your goals in the deer woods is to never give up. After getting settled, a couple of does arrived to where Ryan had spread some big and jay, but as light fades, that's the only encounter that Ryan would have for the next couple of days.
Start to move here in the next hour.
Early on, this young buck makes an appearance, but that's all for the next couple of hours, until Ryan spots movement. That movement that he spotted is Hefty, the giant 8 target buck sneaking in, now at just 20 yards. the buck well within range, Ryan is forced to patiently wait for a broadside shot.
Welcome to this week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment. Locate, learn, set up, hunt. Brought to you by Big & J Long Range Attractants. The aroma is super strong. The range is super long.
Every whitetail hunter's dream is to have thousands of acres of privately managed land, but for so many like us, that's just not the case. Most hunters are like us and have to rely on gracious landowners granting permission or hunting public land. One hard and fast rule is you can't kill a deer that doesn't exist, and not every one of these spots that you get permission on can produce a trophy deer every year, let alone every 5 years. So one of the greatest ways that you can increase your odds of having a quality deer to hunt every year is to expand your area and step out of your comfort zone to look at new places. I almost look at the deer hunter that doesn't have a lot of private land as almost nomadic, who's always continually out there searching, looking for that trophy deer. And when you do find a mature deer that you want to hunt, you can focus your scouting efforts on getting set up for that deer. And also, if you find a good up-and-coming buck, you also now know that that deer exists and you can go back next year to check up on him. And what you end up with is a much bigger area and a better knowledge of a lot more deer. Instead of staying in those 1 or 2 spots that are close to home that never produce a good deer, or only produce a good deer once every 8 or 10 years, you now have other deer in different areas. So every year you can check up on these deer and the odd one will grow to maturity and be your next target buck. And that's your Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment for the week.
This week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment has been brought to you by Big & J Long Range Attractants.
Welcome back. Before the break, Ryan's target buck Hefty had made an appearance, was well within range, and Ryan was waiting for a broadside shot to make his archery whitetail dream come true.
That was hefty. Oh, he come in at last light. We did it, buddy. How'd the shot look? Looks good, buddy. I thought a little far back, maybe.
Well, we just checked the footage here and the shot looks a little far back and high. We're gonna give it a few minutes here and go check for blood, and if it don't look good, we're probably gonna back out tonight. I sure hope it's a good shot. He's an old warrior. He's heavy, and you know, I've been after him for a few years now. We've been watching him and got numerous pictures of him. So hopefully it all comes together.
With the blood showing mixed signals, Ryan does the absolutely right thing, and with doubt present, they back out until morning.
We just picked up on the blood here again, so hopefully we're close and we find him. Right here. I see white. Oh wow, look how heavy he is. Oh yes. Well, here's Hefty. And I think that mask suits his name pretty well. We've been on this deer for 4 days now and he just hasn't shown up. And finally last night he made an appearance for us and we decided to go ahead and take him. He's a mature deer. You know, he's got the classic Roman nose on him. He's got an inside sticker here and He's even got a hole in his horn there. Look at this, he's even got white hooves. A couple black streaks in there. Something I've never seen before. I'd like to thank my family for giving me the chance to chase these mature whitetails. There's nothing I like better than chasing big old deer. So we're gonna get them tagged up and get them loaded on the Dodge and get them home and cleaned up.
I mentioned at the beginning of the show that you can't have that accomplishment without the challenge. And that challenge and those lows are what makes the highs and that all too seldom accomplishment so rewarding. Congratulations, Ryan, on a fantastic buck, and thanks for watching this week's episode of Canadian Whitetail.
For exclusive content, follow Dean and the team on Facebook, as well as on Instagram and Twitter @WhitetailDean. For Canadian whitetail gear and apparel, visit CanadianHuntShop.com.